You, the jury, must determine the credibility and believability of the witnesses. It is for you to determine which witness or witnesses you will believe and which witness or witnesses you will not believe if there are some whom you do not believe. In determining the credibility or believability of witnesses, you may consider all of the facts and circumstances of the case, the manner in which witnesses testify, their interest or lack of interest in the case, their means and opportunity for knowing the facts about which they testify, the nature of the facts about which they testify, the probability or improbability of their testimony, and the occurrences about which they testify. You may also consider their personal credibility insofar as it may appear to you from the trial of the case. As the fact finder, it is your duty to believe the witnesses whom you think are most believable. It is for you alone to determine what testimony you will believe and what testimony you will not believe. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important that you pay close attention to the evidence as it is presented during the trial. If at any time you're unable to hear or see any evidence being presented, or if you're suffering from any discomfort that diverts your attention, please feel free to inform me, and I will do whatever is necessary to ensure that you're able to hear and see the evidence being presented and to give it your undivided attention. If you're in need of a recess at any time, please raise your hand and I'll understand what you need. I'll try to take a recess at appropriate times during the evidence when I think it's appropriate, but if we go too long and you need a recess, just let me know. It is vitally important that you're as comfortable as possible so that you can focus on the evidence being presented. It is important that you view this evidence with an open mind at all times and reach no final conclusion until the trial is over. Do not jump to conclusions before all of the evidence is presented. Also, remember that during the course of this trial, it would be improper for you to discuss this case with anyone or to allow anyone to discuss the case with you or in your presence or your hearing. This applies to discussions among yourselves in the jury room or elsewhere before actual deliberations begin. Also, during the trial, you should not communicate at all with the defendant, any attorney for the state or the defendant, or any witness. Under this rule, you should not engage in even social greetings or small talk between you and these persons. This will protect you not only from wrongdoing, but from the appearance of wrongdoing. I instruct you, ladies and gentlemen, that you must decide this case for yourself solely on the testimony you hear from the witness stand and the exhibits admitted into evidence. You may not visit any scenes depicted by the evidence. You may not utilize any books or documents not in evidence during your deliberation. Likewise, during your deliberations, you may not discuss the case with anyone other than your fellow jurors. Therefore, you may not communicate with anyone about the case on your cell phone, through email, BlackBerry, iPhone, text messages, or on Twitter, through any blog or website, in the internet chat room, or by any other social networking websites, including without limitation Facebook, MySpace, LinkedIn, and YouTube. The prohibited communications include without limitation text, voice, photos, and movies. If you have a cell phone with you, make sure it's turned off while you're on the jury. If anyone tries to discuss the case with you or in your presence, please get the person's name and report it to me or the bailiff. When you return to the courthouse from any adjournment for meals or the night, please go directly to the jury room and have a seat. This will lessen the opportunity for an accidental meeting with a person that you may not know will be a witness in the case. If there is any coverage of the case by the newspaper, radio, television, or other media, you should be careful not to consider it at all in reaching your verdict or in your deliberation. Do not independently investigate any facts or visit any scenes depicted in the evidence. Do not independently research any law concerning the case. For instance, you are prohibited from doing any such independent investigation or research concerning the case on the internet. During a trial, the jury can consider only the evidence that is produced in the courtroom under my supervision and the law that I give you in my instructions. Now that completes my preliminary instructions. we're going to have our opening statements. Before I do that, I need to take up a matter outside of your presence, so if you will make yourselves comfortable at the jury room.